Hello, everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. What the hell's going on here? Well, boys and girls, the news is coming out. Fabrizio Romano, most accurate journalist in the world, is putting the news out there that Bayern Munich will go back in for João Palhinha once again to try to bring in a DM, a number 6, a position Bayern have desperately needed a player in. I think my last show where I talked about Palhinha, I said I don't think Bayern will sign him. A lot of signs indicate that we might not go in for him all the way. But the reports are saying Bayern are still looking at Palhinha. He's one of the players on their list. And I think that word is very important. One of the players on our list, which tells me there's a few players on that list. The reason I thought we wouldn't sign Palhinha is why the hell did he sign a new Fulham contract, giving Fulham all the leverage, making negotiation in January 10 times harder for Bayern? If Palhinha was fully fixated on Bayern and he knew we were in for him, he wouldn't sign a new contract at Fulham. Why the hell would he do that? That was my logic. But for some reason, maybe Bayern might go in. I'm going to say this right now. Palhinha is not worth 100 million. He's not worth 80. He's not worth 70. He might be worth 60. But I'm afraid Fulham's going to try to outprice us. And they have all the leverage to do it. Would you blame them? They have a player that signed a contract extension. Now, of course, people say, oh, it might be to just make a little bit more money. Well, why would you want to make more money for 4 months when you could just wait for 4 months and make double the amount you're making at Fulham at Bayern? Like, why not just wait? That was my logic. It made no sense for him to renew a new contract. And these are Fabrizio Romano's exact words on Offside, I guess, at the channel or a newspaper. He said, I'm still told that Bayern will insist for João Palhinha in January. They will sign a new defensive midfielder this winter for sure. And Palhinha remains one of the names on their list. The player would also be open to making this move happen. Then it depends on Bayern. Fulham negotiations we will see later this winter. So it depends on how Bayern and Fulham go in. And I don't think Bayern need to spend that much money on Palhinha because he isn't the only position we have to look at. I know everyone's talking about Trevor Chalobah. I'm not sold. I don't know. If we're going to spend 40 million on a player, you would hope they had something really super unique about them. And maybe Tuchel sees that in Chalobah. I just haven't seen it every time I watch Chelsea. He looks to me like a Jonathan Tah, just average at his job. He doesn't look exceptional, doesn't look world class. And I think that's part of the reason Chelsea are trying to sell him because they bought better players. So, yeah, I'm just really confused with this transfer window coming up. I mean, it's only in 2 months, right? We're less than 2 months away from the January window officially opening. And there's a lot to really consider. A lot of moving parts for sure. Absolutely. So here's what I think Bayern should do. I think we should have an exhaustive effort to find a number 6 right now. I think we should be scouting every league, every team. We should be employing extra scouts, getting contract scouts, I don't know, contractors. We have to find a DM that fits every box. Palhinha, unfortunately, I think he is a good player defensively, but offensively, there are doubts in his game. He doesn't have the elegance that I would expect us to have. I would love for, what I wanted? I wanted a player like Ibrahim, that guy from, what was his name? The dude from, was it PSV or the Dutch league that just moved to Nottingham Forest, right? That guy. I want a player as comfortable on the ball as him in terms of turning on pressure, just simple passing. And then I want a player as defensively intelligent as Palhinha. That's what I want. I really want a mix of those two. And it's hard to find. There are very few players out there that, check all those boxes. You'll see them at Real Madrid. You'll see them at Man City, Rodri. And yeah, you have those players. And I also want someone like that because I want us to play more controlled and tame football. I think just having an aggressive combatant is great, but on the ball, like they might be a liability. Like you might not trust them in tight spaces, and that might cost you an important game because if they can't touch the ball and keep it, getting pressed by a team like Man City means suicide. Basically, just passing them the ball results in suicide. So I'm really not looking at someone who can't do those things, who can't be composed in possession and keep the ball for the team. Because midfielders are supposed to be good on the ball. Palhinha, I have not seen anything from his game to indicate to me that passing and composure under pressure is one of his strong suits. Carrying the ball isn't there. You've had number sixes in the past that were really comfortable on the ball. I mean, Busquets is one. I know he was more of a box to box, but he really had defensive qualities to be a six. Yeah, Torre. Just having that ability to carry the ball, I think, is so important in this modern day and age, where every team is becoming a high pressing team, and they're putting pressure. And even if teams don't press, you still need that extra composure in midfield. Palhinha works really well 20 years ago, in 2003, when football was aggression and there was a lot of really good attacking players. So midfielders needed to be extra hard. They needed to have that edge, like an emo kid, edginess. They needed that because you couldn't cope with ballers like Ronaldinho and all the real G's that were playing in that era. So you needed that extra defensive astuteness. But I don't have a tendency to believe. I know it's happening. Football is moving to a more technically based and sound direction. I think that's what you're seeing. So I wonder if Palhinha has those attributes. And we have to consider the fact that he's playing at Fulham, and that's a team that barely sees the ball. I think most of their games, they just give possession to the other team. So I don't know if we can fully judge everything he does based off his performances at Fulham. I think we could look at back when he was at Sporting Lisbon, right? Maybe he was just better in possession. I don't know. It's funny because my idea of Palhinha was just come in and be a stopgap. That's what I wanted him to be, a stopgap for when we eventually get someone higher level. Because I don't think he's the upper echelon. No, absolutely not. But I do think he's good. He's good at one set of skills, defending. Very good at it. Good in the air, good on the ground duels and tackling. He's just good at those things. He's combative, and he gives his heart for his team. But it's just on the ball quality. So I wanted him to be a stopgap if we were getting Palhinha. And I also wanted us to sign a young player, someone that could come in and be here for the next however many years. I was saying those things under the assumption that Palhinha would be coming in for like 50 million, but it looks like it's going to be more. And I also said it because he's 29 or 28. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. He's not technically there, so he's not going to last that long in the game. When the physical side of his body starts wearing out, he'll lose some things, right? He'll lose that explosion that he has and seems to have. So that's something that's certain. And when you lose explosion, the thing that stays is your IQ and your ability. And if he's not, a technically gifted footballer, he's not going to last very long. So you can expect him to play till like 33. Like that's probably max. And the DM position requires maximum physical competency. I mean, it requires so much running, so much thinking that you can't afford to lose a little bit of explosion because every challenge, every duel needs that. But he's in his prime right now, and that's the hope. It's like, We get him for 4 seasons, and he gives us amazing performances. Tuchel will be expected to win the Champions League if we bring in Palhinha. And the question is, will Palhinha make us good enough to go win the Champions League? That's the question. Do you guys think so? I think he gives us more cover at the back. Certainly true. Kimmich's responsibility will be slightly different because Palhinha will be playing in the double pivot. He won't be a lone six. Kimmich and him will be tasked. I mean, we all know it's really Palhinha that's going to be doing most of the defending and all the covering. But Kimmich will have to offer himself on the ball at a level he hasn't done so before. Because Palhinha will be there to cover. He will be next to Kimmich. And Kimmich will have to give us ball carrying and not just passing. He'll have to carry the ball. And Kimmich might take higher positions from build-up, after the first phase in build-up, when we're finally in the midfield and higher up. So Kimmich might, when we're building straight off from goal kicks and center backs getting the ball deep, Kimmich will be there. And then as we progress into the next phase of build-up, when we're already in the midfield and close to the opponent's half, Kimmich will have to take a higher position because where's Palhinha going to be? Or maybe Palhinha takes a higher position and just has defensive intelligence to always find himself ready to come back and defend if we lose the ball. Maybe that's what happens, where Kimmich just is given responsibility to stay. Maybe that's the role. You see Casemiro do it for Man United and before for Real Madrid. He does a really good job of staying out of the build-up, right? If Toni Kroos is on the ball, he ain't there. If Modric is dropping, Casemiro is really not. He's not, dropping in to receive the ball. He'll just be in a pocket with a bunch of players around, ready to win any headers if they come in higher up. And then when they lose the ball, if they do, he's usually there, like right there where he needs to be. So maybe that's Palhinha's role in build-up. But I would not trust this guy to receive the ball under pressure. I really don't. I think, he just doesn't have a smoothness to his game. And maybe I just don't watch Fulham that much, but every time I've watched Palhinha, whether it's off of highlights, his passes look forced. They don't look like they come natural to him. It just, like the on-the-ball aspects of his game, they're, every touch it doesn't look smooth. It looks, he could be a center back. That's really how I see it. He could really be a center back. If his body build was slightly different, he could be a center back. But so let's see what happens. Let's see if Bayern are willing to go all the way in. And let's see if Fulham are willing to negotiate and be flexible on their pricing, because we will screw ourselves if we're, paying that kind of money for Palhinha, man. I don't want us paying 70 million for him. Not worth that. 50 million max or 55 million. But then again, he signed a new contract. It's going to make it a lot harder. So, oh gosh, my mouse. Oh, I thought my mouse just died. Oh, it's funny how me no longer having my mouse doing 50 gazillion colors is saving all the battery. I haven't charged it in like 2 days and it's still high. Before I charged it every day, every single second I was charging my. By the way, guys, yesterday was insane. I was going to do a show, right? But my computer started doing this weird sound where, by weird sound, there's Andre from Brazil. This guy, Sangari's who I was talking about. Yeah, he's mid. I don't think he's mid. I think he's all right. But when I refer to Sangari, I'm referring to his skill set. He seems more complete. Andre from Brazil. If he's a 17-year-old, you've lost me, because we don't need a kid. We don't need a prospect. He's 22. Okay, that's slightly different. So I don't know who he is, to be honest. I don't know how good he is. I've never. Wait, Andre Trindade. Oh, Yeah, I think I watched this guy once. Yeah, I don't know about this guy that much, to be honest. But okay, the age isn't that bad. Liverpool apparently offered 30 million for him and it was rejected. He looks like he can cover many different midfield positions and is a defensive midfielder. Okay, so maybe, who knows? Maybe Andre from Brazil is the guy. Why is he wearing the number 7? What a weirdo. These Brazilians, man, I'm telling you. He starts every game for his club at Fluminense. Maybe, who knows? I don't know the club. Yeah, he's been there for about 2 years. Do you guys know much about Andre? Is he good on the ball? Is he good in off the ball? Right? Because these Brazilians sometimes are really good at one thing. Oh, he's for 50 million, more like Thiago. Don't gas me up, man. So yeah, my. Oh yeah, did you guys see what Javi Martinez said? Javi Martinez. Javi Martinez wasn't magical on the ball. Are you kidding me? Javi Martinez had one of the most efficient long passes, switching play. I mean, maybe in your head you're thinking of no. Javi was comfortable in possession. Javi was carrying the ball sometimes. Yo, you might be forgetting, and Javi was a. You might be forgetting that Javi was. I mean, I wouldn't say he was like Xabi Alonso on the ball, but he was a Spaniard for sure. Like you could tell. I mean, his body build made it look like, oh, he was really trying hard. But I still remember that game against Liverpool where Javi was in midfield and he bossed the game and his switches to Ribery. I remember those passes in 2018, or was it 2019? I never remember which year it was. It was 2019, not 2018. But yeah, nah, you might have been joking or something. But Javi was pretty good on the ball. Like his passes were actually like that boy was cold. It's just he had so many. This is the thing. I know why you're saying that because you remember us having Thiago and Schweinsteiger and players, Kroos, but maybe you just don't remember like how freaking cold Javi was on the ball. Yeah, maybe you just don't remember. He wasn't too impressive in his first few games. I don't know what you mean by that. I name me a player that walked into a club and just Javi Marti. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? What has this got to do with anything? I'm talking about the fact that someone just said Javi wasn't impressive on. No, he was. His passing was very good. Like his switches to both wingers were very good. His short passing was also very good, and his ball carrying was very good. I haven't seen any of those traits from Palhinha, and that's okay as long as his defending is just out of this world. But I'm just wondering how we're going to play if we don't have someone that could impose a little bit more control for us. Javi under Pep was at center back, but under Jupp Heynckes, no, he was a DM. Pep, man, Pep. I don't know. Maybe that's why people think Javi wasn't good because Pep wanted him at center back. But actually, that was just more due to the fact that he's so good on the ball that Pep was like, whenever you play, just drop you in at center back. We need me at DM? Nah, we would lose. Love this channel. Keep up and also love your tweets. I appreciate that, Maxon. Was Javi better on the ball than Thiago? What kind of question is that, bro? No one in the world was better on the ball than Thiago. I mean, most players will say best player you've ever played on the ball, Thiago. Every one of them said Thiago. So yeah, I don't know if you're being serious with that question. I mean, Thiago was like elite. This guy was come on, bro. He was just that guy, man. He was that guy. So there's two routes Bayern could go. We could go and try and get someone like an Enzo Fernandez prototype. I mean, one thing is clear: Bayern wants someone with experience, someone that comes in and immediately helps us. We might look for a younger player in the future, but I don't think we're doing that like in this window that's coming up. We're going to try to find experience. And the question is, how many players are out there? And that's the thing. We're limited. If there were like a billion players and it was so clear that Palhinha was just the best, like we would spend any amount of money on him, right? But the fact of the matter is, we look at the market and who is out there? Who's really out there, man? Who? Have you guys like looked at it? There's no one out there. Something's weird in my mouth. No one's out there. Ishmael Benassar. Yeah, he's injury prone, I think. And Benassar, I mean, man, I wish he was a conversation a few seasons ago. That's the kind of name we should have been linked to replace Thiago. But isn't it kind of funny that we all were, the club was like, in times of Corona, you guys remember reading that? In times of Corona, bro, these Germans, they kept saying it at Bayern. These CEOs and club directors, every time, all the board members at least mentioned Corona once in every press conference. In times of Corona, they always said it. We can't take risk. But here's the thing. I think we've lost more money not having a DM. We've lost out on more competitions not having a DM. We've lost more games. So really, it was a risk worth taking. There's a reason Madrid can spend 80 million on Tchouaméni. There's a reason Barcelona are conceding so much now and losing control of games. They don't have, I mean, De Jong's doing well, but they still need that guy. They need the next Busquets. They need that control and that tackling, them long legs. That's what they need now. So, there's a reason City lost 2 games back-to-back, I think, or drew 2 games. I don't know if they drew or lost. And it was because Rodri wasn't playing. He was out. And then the game Rodri comes back in against Leipzig, City absolutely dominate. There's always that one position that is the most important position. We can argue that Kimmich has. I don't think Kimmich can do it by himself. I still think we need completeness in every player. We need every player to offer. They can have 1 or 2 standout qualities, but they can't be bad at something. I think we're Bayern. We're a club at a level where you can't just be good at one thing. You have to be good at all of it. There's a reason Musiala is working so hard to make his game complete, because he can't just be good at scoring, or he has to be good at passing. And now he's looking like an amazing passer with both feet. So at Bayern, you have to be good at everything, because we have players that are better than you in so many other ways that we could just play them. So if you're going to be a player that wants to play for Bayern, you have to improve and prove you're good at everything. We need that. Yeah, but Benassar, he's expected in November. He had surgery. He's injury prone, dog. And that's unfortunate, because that's a player I like. But he has missed so many games due to injury. Just this season, man, he tore a bicep muscle, and then he's been out for 24 games to some knee injury. It's just bizarre. Yes. I mean, you guys can say 50 million, but you really think AC Milan would let him go for that cheap? De Jong is injured. That's why the sack over the fat pot. I don't know what you're saying. Benassar from AC Milan. Use Dortmund quality. No, I think Benassar is an amazing player, but what we need is reliability. If he's busting his knee and busting bicep muscles, that's not what we need right now, man. We need a player that's fit for a long time. So Benassar would have been an option to replace Thiago, because he came in with a lot of the same skill sets, like that small, compact build, covers a lot of ground, reads the game well, turns on pressure, very technically there. That's what I was hoping for. But I mean, we always kind of knew Thiago. I think people forget that if we didn't have Thiago in our team in 2020, we would have lost so many games. Thiago added a level of control we didn't have. He really did. Thiago elevated the midfield for us. He was amazing. It was the calmness. Every player in our team, you ask them, who's the best player you played with? It's always Thiago. Because that boy, there's a certain element that certain players just give to their teammates that you can't replicate. You can't. Kimmich can try, but he ain't Thiago. Thiago was the kind of guy to just nice little drop of the shoulder and then turn. Like he didn't need 3 touches. He would just get the ball and just scoop it around the corner and turn. And that's the first wave of pressure done. Like that level of technical elegance is so, and he did it I don't remember a single time he tried that and lost the ball. Every single time it just worked. It worked. And then he would, swift through the midfield, do a la croqueta, and then he would do a beautiful pass with some finesse, switch it, and the play. Like I don't remember Thiago making a single mistake, like losing the ball and we concede. I mean, of course, that probably happened, but he was unplayable. There's a reason Klopp went in for him, because Klopp was like, I need some technique in my midfield. And man, I can only imagine, what if Thiago had just stayed and not wasted his time going to Liverpool? What if he just stayed here and finished his career? He wouldn't be as injury prone because our doctors knew how to deal with him and keep him fit. And man, how do you replicate that? There's not a footballer on this planet I can look at and go, you are a carbon copy of him. But I can see a bunch of Goretzkas. They're everywhere. I can see a bunch of Limers. I see a bunch of anything but Thiago. Everyone else is out there but Thiago. Oh man. Anyone that disrespects there's a reason I wear the number 6 on my back. Because of that boy Thiago. That's how much he moved me to the point where I was like, man, I like the number 6. Thiago and Pogba, obviously, but I think Thiago more. There's because that boy did something to me, bro. Every time I watched him play, it was under Niko Kovac. We literally had no midfield. You guys remember how we used to play a circle formation? Like the formation was literally a giant circle on. We had no one in the middle except Thiago, bro. That's how he would just carry us every game. It was just, if Thiago had a good game, we probably won under Kovac. He won us a league title single-handedly. And him and Gnabry and Kimmich in that 2018-19 season. The worst season in Bayern history, in my opinion. Actually, probably maybe last season, because we had so much potential and just bottled it. This guy's spamming the chat, and then he's like, oh, why isn't he reading chat? Maybe because of you bastard. I read chat all the time. I just don't read you when you repeat yourself. We should be careful with Tuchel. You wanted Mount and Rice. Tuchel. No, I don't. See, I think managers just have a bias, Like maybe fans just see how bad Rice and... Wait, no. Rice is not bad. I think Declan Rice is a good player, but severely overrated. How is João Palhinha that much worse? Okay, maybe Palhinha was Declan Rice's age. He would be the same amount. But, the point is, Declan Rice isn't worth 130 million, the amount Arsenal paid for him. He's not worth that. Yeah, the market's inflated. But my point is, you can find Declan Rice anywhere. I mean, you have Matt Weaver in the Eredivisie. What's so different about him and Rice? Experience? Probably. But you can't tell me you can't find footballers with better ability than Declan Rice. So, Tuchel's talent ID is garbage. I don't think so. I think Tuchel has an ability to identify players. Well, I certainly know he has an ability to identify problems. He's good at that. I mean, he knew we needed a 6 right away. Nagelsmann never said anything about a 6. He always wanted these robust midfielders, but he never understood why we needed a 6. So I agree that I think Tuchel, I mean, I don't think he wanted Mount, though. Damn. If he wanted Mount, that's crazy. That is insane. And then there's someone else spamming. Oh, jeez. Spamming, disrupting the entire show to spam in the chat. That's actually crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. Oof. Not even reading your message because I don't want you to get the satisfaction of thinking spamming works. It just ruins the chat experience. It demoralizes me. It's like, why are you spamming? Oh, Javi Martinez responded to Upa's injury. Yeah, Upa's out for like 2 months, dude. It's crazy. But the Lit's almost back. Javi Martinez said, call Jerome Boateng. Nah, Javi. It ain't happening, bro. We not getting Boateng back. I'm sorry. Boateng can stay, bro. He could be unemployed for as long as I don't care. He's not the guy. Maybe we should call Javi Martinez back. Maybe you come back, Javi. Or you beating your wife at home too. Who knows? Yeah, but Plettenberg said today, as of today, Boateng is not an option for Bayern. Still not an option. I mean, the protest was so loud. The club bosses get it. They understand. Boateng taints the club's image. But yeah, Bayern posted a video of De Ligt working with our fitness doctor, Professor Hoiger or Broich or something. I don't know his name. I forgot. Is it Broich? Felix Broich? Yeah, so no, I think Hoiger is part of. There is a guy at the club called Hoiger, Holger. Broich, yeah, it's Felix Broich, Dr. Felix. I think that's his name. Yeah, so De Ligt is working with the ball, and he's heading, he's jumping. It looks like he's going to be back by next week against Mainz. Is it next week or 2 weeks from now? March 24th. I was like, what the flip? Not March 20. No, it is. It's in exactly 10 days. So actually, yeah, next week. Wait, no, next week. Yeah, not this weekend, but the weekend after. Okay, yeah. So that's when Bayern return against Mainz. So yeah, it looks like De Ligt might. Well, he will be back. I mean, if he's working with the ball and he's heading, he's jumping, doing all that stuff, then yeah, he's going to be fit. I mean, he's going to be match ready by that time, and it's going to be De Ligt and Kim. Isn't it crazy how we can never predict injuries? It's like everything could be going well, and then Upamecano pulls something. It's crazy. Yeah, so we do need a center back in January. Oh, it looks like Alexander Pavlovich is also back to fitness. It's kind of annoying. I mean, there was a time where he could have played in the Pokal, and just injuries, man. It's unfortunate. His contract expires, like next season, like next year, like June 30th. So let's hope he gets a few minutes here and there, and yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, because that's a player I want to see succeed. One thing I will say is our academy is starting to show positive signs. I mean, Zergli's performances in Italy, the rep in our academy is starting to grow. Clubs are starting to look at the players coming from our academy. I mean, Malik Tillman's cooking, and these are genuine academy players. Zergzi has played every minute for Bologna basically this season. Like, he's an undisputed player in their team. He also came off the bench and scored 1 goal in the Italy Cup. And you could look at his goal record and go, only 2 goals, but 1, he's playing for Bologna. 2, you have to watch for the fact that this kid he's not just a goal-scoring striker. He's really a creative number 9, He drops deep. He's a false 9 in his actual true nature. And I think if you had Zergzi with a partner like Timo Werner, but Werner that can shoot, he would cook. I think if Zergzi's trying to really further his career, he should replace Yusuf Poulsen at RB Leipzig or replace Sesko at Leipzig. I think if he's trying to take his career to the next level, when Sesko leaves, Zirkzee should pull up. I think that's probably the best way to do it if I was Zirkzee. The only season we did not have injuries was 1920. That was because of COVID. We won the UCL. Yeah, injuries are killing us, man. It's crazy. Leverkusen ain't even using Stanny. Yeah, bro. That kid got like 2 minutes, dog. Got like 2 minutes. Did you guys see what the Saudi Pro League director of football said, Michael Imanalo? Yeah, I don't know. When did leagues start getting directors of football? How does that make any sense? Well, so he said the Saudi Pro League is open to every single superstar who wants to be a part of it. We're simply open to the best players who want to come here. I know players who were hesitant before taking this step and are now very happy. So I hope that these young players, young superstars, and even up-and-coming greats like Jamal Musiala, whom I absolutely admire, will one day make the decision to join us. You guys think Musiala should pack his bags and go play some Habibi ball in the Saudi Pro League? Y'all think so? These people would just say anything. Oh, by the way, Kane, on whether he would have regrets if Tottenham won the Prem. Tottenham ain't winning the Prem, bro. I think Liverpool have a higher chance of winning it. But in all actuality, Man City, they do this every year. They start the season, you're questioning if or not they can do it, and then they're 50 points clear. 2 losses in a row is terrible for City. But you're not going to convince me Spurs are going to win every game this season. You're not going to convince me Arsenal's going to win every game this season. Arsenal got a fluky win against City. Something's going to happen where City's just going to go 10 games unbeaten, 10 wins in a row, and Spurs are going to lose 3 games. Arsenal's going to lose 2 games. That's what usually happens. Damn, United are 10th and Chelsea are 11th. Yo, Chelsea did not move from their position last season. They really in the same spot. They didn't, bro, did nothing but step back, bro. 100 gazillion spent. But I think people forget, like, Chelsea also sold half their team. I mean, I think the only players that remain from last season are, actually players they signed in January of last season. So I don't even know a single. I mean, think of any Chelsea player, they're probably gone. They signed an entirely new team. So yeah, I think it's weird when people try to make it out like Chelsea. Oh, they're money laundering and they need to be financial fair play. But it's like, bro, they also sold Kovacic. They sold Havertz. They sold Mason Mount. Like, they sold everyone, literally. Todd Bowley's cooking something. Because I'm going to be honest, Chelsea have some really good players. Enzo Fernandez, when he gets a midfield partner that gets him to tick. I mean, Caicedo and Ugo Chukwu, bro, one of those players starts ticking and playing well, oh, man, it's going to be annoying to play Chelsea because they just have so much quality. I mean, Jackson, their striker, is really good. Nicholas Jackson. That's a striker that is cold, man. Oh, you're yawning. I'm not even a fan of Tuchel. It pleases me. This ain't Bayern. The way the club is set up, we will eventually become a selling club. Nah. We ain't selling no. But if we do end up selling Davies or Musiala in the next 4 years, I mean, your point wouldn't be terrible because that's 10 years ago. That's a player we would never even think about selling. Just no way. Damn, bro. Dude, I'm going to go play chess. It's been a good show. I'm going to go play some chess. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Get my ELO back, man. I got cooked. I was playing it before I came on live. That's why I was actually on time. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia and peace.